This your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, 914, Westchester County, New York. Doing another live video real quick. And you see the title of this video. Where are my children? Where are they? Arabia Barbosa doesn't have any children. You know why I don't have no children? Because of the foster care system in New York. That's why I don't have no children. That's why I don't have any children. But when I was in the foster care system in New York, you know what happened? Do you know what the fuck happened? I had siblings that was raised in the house with me, and my adoptive parents decided to adopt those children. Those children had children. One of my adopted brothers had children. Those children were murdered in 2011. Shout out to the chat. It's no secret. It's no secret. When I shared the video earlier about what happened to my former sister-in-law, Sgt Crystal Ragin, YouTube tried to hide it, but they couldn't hide it. They couldn't. Somebody had to give them permission to share the fucking video. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. I live in a house where there is no home life. There's no children, nothing. Just me and what I do to go to work. Pay bills, rent, whatever I gotta pay, I pay. And I pay it to the fullest extent of my life. That's what I do. But do you know what happened years ago, way before they got killed? And I think Sierra knew her end was coming. I think she was trying to find a way out. And she found her way out through talking to me. And when my former sister-in-law, Sgt Crystal Ragin, divorced my brother, he was an adopted brother, but he was still my brother. We grew up together. She used to go to my parents' house. When Michael and Crystal got married, my parents made sure they had a house outside of my mother's house. Because my mother knew. She said, I don't want two queens in the house. My adopted father said the same thing. He said, I can't take two queens in the house. One of the queens got to get out of here. And he did that. He did that. But what did Sgt Crystal Ragin do? She got thirsty. She got lonely. She was always lonely. You know why she was lonely? Because her mother disrespected her in her childhood. The mother did not raise Sgt Crystal Ragin. Sgt Crystal Ragin was raised by Ma Boone. Ma Boom. And Ma Boom was all over the place. But she was stable. She had a house. She paid her bills. She did whatever she wanted to do. She had her little lookout going over there. It is what it is. Shout out to the chat. It is what the fuck it is. I'm addressing what happened to Sergeant Crystal Ragin and her children. And when I met Sergeant Crystal Ragin years ago, way before I went to fucking prison, I told her, you don't want to get involved with my brother, Michael. He was an adopted brother. Come to find out later on, he's a distant relative, a cousin. I said, you don't want to get involved with him. He's a player. He's a hater. He don't respect women. So you got to find your own way. When she divorced my brother, Michael, she married someone that was dangerous. A lot of you young women like to get with these dangerous dudes. You like to get with them. You like to marry them. You like to fuck them. You like to have children by them. Don't do it. I advise you not to do it. Sergeant Crystal Ragin is enough for me. But let me tell you something. Before she died, the man that killed her, John Moses Reagan, before he killed her, he had to destroy every image of her family, her in-laws, whoever was in the picture. And he did it, and he did it very well. I hate this man. I hate him. I hate him because he destroyed a young, beautiful woman. It was very strong. She used to like go out and work every day. She was with the National Guard in South Carolina. But before she was with them, she was with the reserves. And before she was with them, she was in the army, military. Before she died, she became a sergeant. She was supposed to go to Fort Jackson, right here in Columbia, South Carolina, and be a drill sergeant. That's the training she was getting, to be a drill sergeant. And when she told that young man she wanted to get a divorce, he decided to kill her. John Moses Reagan. Y'all saw his picture. You know what happened in Newport News, Virginia? He killed not only her, but all her children that was in that house that came from one of my brothers. And I find it very interesting that his son survived. The son that he had with Sergeant Crystal Ragin, that was their body. That was their blood work. That was their bloodline. That was their blood type. When that man came in that house and killed Sergeant Crystal, he had to kill her first. Because she was head of household. She was the strongest member in that fucking family. Yes, she was. And I'm saying it just like that. Fucking family. because Crystal was already twisted in her mind about life. She didn't have the same knowledge I had. She didn't have the same knowledge my sisters had. She was trying to get it while we was all living together. But I remember my last days with Sgt Crystal Ragin, and I said, "What's up?" She said, "Arabia, let's get some movies on. Let's get them sandwiches going on. You trying to get off that alcohol?" Because I was trying to get off alcohol then. I went to rehab. Had to go back to her house. Shout out to the chat. When I left from her house, she told me, "Don't look out for nobody." I used to send money home. Send money home every week. Sgt Crystal Ragin didn't accept the money. She sent it back. She said, "Don't worry about me, worry about you." And when she came to my house in Greenville, South Carolina, had a wonderful apartment right there on Cleveland Street, downtown Greenville. Greenville. I call it Greenville. I said Greenville, South Carolina. She went to my house. She was there with my brother at that time. We had a wonderful time together. We went to the pool hall. We shot the pool table together. I was teaching her how to shoot pool that night. And my brother bought a bottle of champagne. And she said, "Arabia not supposed to drink alcohol. Arabia not supposed to be drinking alcohol." When Crystal was in my house with my brother, they were still married at that time. Crystal and Michael was married at that time. I got a phone call from New York. One of my biological brothers was calling in because Michael never met them. Sgt Crystal Ragin never met them. They handed me the phone. I talked to my brother. I said, "Okay, I'm going to New York in a few more days." I hung up the phone. You know what Sgt Crystal Ragin told me? She said, "Arabia, do what you need to do, but do not forget about me. Do not forget about me." And I remember when my adopted father died in 2002. We all went to the wake. We all went to the funeral. We all sat at the house. You know what Sgt Crystal Ragin asked me that night? She said, "Arabia, if anything ever happens to me, will you push the envelope?" And I said, "I don't know what you mean." She said, "Anything happen to me, can you stand the fire?" I said, "Yes." I didn't know she was sealing her own thing then. Because she was always afraid. She was always frightened about something. I don't know what happened in her childhood. I don't know what happened in her teenage years. But when she started dating my brother, Michael, and he's an adoptive brother. I told her, don't marry him. You gonna have a child by him? Don't marry him. Go on with your own life. You'll be more happier. No, she got mixed up with the bullshit. Bullshit. When she divorced my brother, Michael, she married that clown, John Moses Reagan. And I will always hate him. I will always hate him. Hate him to the day of my death. Because don't nobody come over here and destroy my family. When he took Sgt Crystal Ragin, when John Moses Reagan went into that fucking house, he cut her down. Then he cut Laquan down. Whoever was in that house, he cut down. He killed. When they found Sgt Crystal Ragin, she was almost decapitated. Still had the phone in her fucking hand. And who was calling her? Her mother. Her mama was calling her. The detectives had to pry the phone from Sgt Crystal Ragin' hand. They had to break her fingers because she had a death grip on her phone. When they found Sierra, burned beyond recognition. When they found Rashid, stabbed over 27 times. You know what my mind does? You know what my mind does? Dealing with men. Birdman, the only one safe. Everybody is fair game. Everyone else is fair game. And Birdman know it. This bitch can't get off this fucking app and do something stupid. That's why he want to destroy all my devices in my house. Shout out to him for being brave enough to say he want to do it. But I need my young women on YouTube to respect your power. Whatever your first mind tell you, follow it. If you have children, protect your children. Because I was born through a woman that never wanted to protect me. That woman put me out here in the world before I was 2 years old. And you know what happened to me? I got sexually abused. And I got beaten and emotionally abused and spiritually abused. Everything. You don't want your daughter to go through that. Because those daughters are going to be angry. They're going to be the next BT 1000. Every time I think about Sgt Crystal Ragin, Sierra, Laquan, Rashid, I get upset all over again. Birdman know it. He know it. He said, oh shit. Let me get this woman out of her house. She looking at them white walls. She gonna start thinking some bullshit. That's what he tried to get me away from. He don't want me to be on YouTube. He don't want me to be on YouTube because he know how I get down. People talk about me in a disparaging way. Yo, I'm looking at you. This is my video to release myself from the war with Lonnie One Love. This is my video to release myself. And Lonnie said she was never at war with me. I was at war with my own goddamn self. She knew. And every time I think about Lonnie, I think about that one night I was in this fucking apartment and I cut off all the lights. I just shut down all the lights. I didn't even eat no food, nothing. Didn't touch no water, nothing. I heard the voice of Miss 504 because I had my phone on and I was subscribed to Miss 504. Miss 504 left off her platform talking whatever she was talking. Then I went over to Lonnie One Love. Shout out to both of these women. Shout out to both of these women. Miss 504, Lonnie One Love. Because I was in my deepest, darkest moments. I didn't know how I could get out of it. Because I was sleeping in my bed. And I said, I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm going to wither away. I'm not going to eat no food. Drink no water. Not smoke no cigarette. But when I heard the voice of Miss 504 and Lonnie One Love, you know what I said? I said, if they can get up and face life every day, I got to do it too. I want to do it too. They were special. They still special. Both of these women. They mothers. They on YouTube. They talking their truth. They doing what they gotta do. They don't care what nobody say about them. Those two women don't care what nobody say negative about them. They keep going on. And I want to be like them. But my spirit is a little bit different than those two women. My spirit is different. Because when you energize me, you give me a reason to get up in the morning. I get up in the morning. I get up in the afternoon. I get up at night. I work overnight shifts. I be so tired of that bullshit. When I come back to this house is empty. There's no children. There's no partner. There's no life in this fucking apartment. No life. And I'm miserable every time I come here. And Birdman know it. That's why he said, come to my house. Come to my house. I got color on the wall. I got food. And I don't care about the food. I don't care about the color on the wall. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm still by my fucking self. Where are my children? They're in the fucking grave. Laquan and Sierra. Sierra was the older one of them two. And she said, Aunt Arabia, we know you never gonna get married. We know you never gonna have no children. We are your children. We are your family. And I took it to heart. I didn't know a clown like John Moses Reagan was gonna come in and cut them down. You killed my children and you think I'm supposed to be happy all the time? You think I'm supposed to be positive all the time? It's not gonna happen. Not gonna fucking happen. I want my children. I want my life. Way before I came to Charleston, South Carolina. Because if they were still living, nothing would ever happen to them. I would have been so happy wherever I was at. They're gone. I can't bring them back. I can't go to that cemetery and try to dig people out of the fucking grave. You know, I would go to jail for destroying a military burial site. You know how much time that carries? Shout out to the chat. I don't care. I want my family. And my family was taken away from me. Behind a simple mistake. A woman saying she wanted a divorce from a man that was weak, a man that was a boy, a man that could never grow up, a man that was always jealous, a man that could not handle life. He destroyed my family life. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Any man I meet like him will be tampered down, will be destroyed. Oh yes. I haven't met one yet. That's why Birdman keep calling me. Birdman keep coming over to the house. Babe, you wanna go here? You wanna go there? I don't wanna go nowhere. I want my fucking children. I want my next 20 years. I can't even adopt children. I can't even foster children because of my criminal felony background. If I didn't have that, I could have foster children living in my house, wherever I'm at. I don't care about the money. I want the family unit. I want something I never had. I will never get. It's out of my reach. And that's why I'm so angry. And that's why I'm so mad. And the women that got children, you got grandchildren, value them, love them, hug them, tell them how important they are to you, and tell them your family history. Tell them. Because I'm so tired. I'm getting sleepy right now. And shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. And I'm getting real sleepy. Shout out to the chat. Anybody want to hit the link? I think the link is dropped. Hold on. Let me see if the link is dropped. Let me see if the link is dropped. Copied. Boom. 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 Yeah, that's what this video is all about. Family. And how family can disappear through your fingertips. I had two children that knew I was never going to have children. They knew I was never going to get married. They knew. And they said, Aunt Arabia, we are your children. We are your family. When we get grown or wherever we at, we going to be wherever you at. They dead. That man killed them for no fucking reason. No fucking reason. There was no reason he had to kill them. No reason for him to kill Sgt Crystal Ragin. No reason for him to kill Sierra. No reason for him to kill Laquan. No reason for him to kill Rashid. Only thing he had to do was take the divorce, take the L. A lot of black niggas, white niggas too, other niggas from other ethnic groups. You think you gonna rule over a woman? You are deceiving yourself. Don't you ever think you're gonna rule over a woman, especially a black woman. Don't you ever do that. I'm so tired of shit. I'm trying to be positive, but I'm negative at the same time because I know what happened. Because I got that phone call. I was living at 54 Saratoga Avenue in Yonkers, New York, and I got that phone call 10:30 that night. One of my friends that I met in the shelter went with me to Virginia. He stayed in Virginia. I went on to South Carolina. I had to go to that fucking funeral home. I had to go to the fucking wake. I had to watch my people go into the fucking ground. Sgt Crystal Ragin, she had a United States flag flap over her coffin. They had to fold it and give it to the mother. The mother died 3 years later. The fuck out of here. When I think about the bullshit I went through with that fucking family. How the hell did that happen? You know what I did? When I went to my adopted mother house, I started fighting immediately. Fighting. Because I was hurt and I was angry. How could this happen to us? I will never get over their deaths. Those were my children. And the only time I get to see them is when I go to sleep. That's the only time. But they always tell me in the dream, go. We free. We good. Go. And I never appear as myself in dreams. I'm always an owl. You know what an owl means? OWL. You know what that means? Some of you don't know what it means. I'm going to tell you what it means. It means wisdom. It means knowing the mysteries. It means knowing the secrets of life. It means knowing how to love yourself in spite of yourself. Shout out to the chat. But I'm always going to stick with the people that stick with me. Shout out to the chat. I'm always going to stick with them because they stick with me. And I cannot continue with this war or this battle with Lonnie One Love, the Empress Lonnie One Love. I can't. And she knows it. She knows it very well. She doesn't say anything about it, but she knows. She don't want to hit my link. It's fine. I hear what you say when you do your videos, you do your community wall. I hear what you're saying. That's fine with me. I'm good with that. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. And I remember my deepest, darkest moments. I heard the voice of Miss 504 and Empress Lonnie One Love. And when I heard the Empress speak her voice, do her videos, do the music, I got up and started doing what I needed to do. If it wasn't for Lonnie One Love or Miss 504, your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, probably wouldn't not even be breathing. Shout out to the chat. I ain't got nothing against none of these two women. And the women that talk to me, feel me, I feel you. I love you. I appreciate you. You ain't gotta like and share the video. Just listen to my voice. I appreciate you. I love you. I respect you. I know. I know the secret. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about what's going on inside of your mind, inside of your spirit, inside of your soul. That's what I'm talking about. That's what means walking on water. When you walk on water, you're walking on an element that is very powerful. It can turn into ice, it could be liquid, and it could be vapor. It's three different stages of water: solid, liquid, vapor. It is what it is. Now I'm in Fort Worcester County, New York. This is your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, 914. I'm signing off. Nobody has hit the link. Nobody has rebuted anything. But I encourage all my subscribers that got a deep story to start your own YouTube channel. Start it. Begin it. Do whatever you gotta do it. And I will support your channel. Because I got until March, the 18th to get off of here. Because I don't want to be here after 51 years old being on YouTube. That don't make no damn sense. Don't. It really don't. I don't care how young I look. Don't matter. Shout out to my YouTube creators. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to my moderators. Shout out to my chat members. Shout out to my ghost watchers, my haters. And shout out to the people that write in my comment section. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Lonnie One Love, you know the truth. Stop doing the bullshit you're doing. Talk your truth. You got enough common sense, and you've been doing videos with being educating people about certain things. You thought you was being funny. You thought you was being nah, bitch. You know what you're doing. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my YouTube creators, my subscribers, chat members, ghost watchers, haters, people that write in the comment section. I don't care. I will no longer do this battle or war with Lonnie One Love. It's over. It's over. Lonnie, you won. You won. You won the battle. You won the war. I'm going home. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here.